Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently fighting Japan. We'll see how that ends up going, but we have managed to liberate New Zealand, and that's fantastic. So we're currently working on taking this territory back that they took from us. Now there are some US troops here. I'm kind of wondering, would we be better off attacking Guadalcanal? We've already had a couple of failed attacks on Guadalcanal. Or would we be better off coming up here, hiding behind the US forces, and building our own naval base up here? I think we'll get this one more attack here. We'll let these guys regenerate a bit. Are they going here? I don't want them to actually go. We don't have the naval supremacy. I think they're actually going. Okay, they don't really have the organization or supplies for this. Sure. I guess we'll give this a go. The US is grabbing this territory while we're keeping them occupied. Now, we can't move in here because there's no naval base. Is the US going to end up screwing us over here? Potentially. Okay, so we want to do a naval invasion. Wait a second. They're leaving Guadalcanal. Okay. It'll take 21 days. But if they're going to leave Guadalcanal, then we will retake it. Launch this as soon as you can. Cool. If we take this naval base, they're just done. So that's excellent. We're going to want to take locations out over here. We're going to do a lot of island hopping. There's no doubt about that. So in terms of our production of our navies, things are looking better. Ultimately, what we really want here is something kind of like this for our naval production. But that's not very realistic, obviously. We only got one dockyard from taking over New Zealand, which makes me a little bit upset. But we can do an industrial land appropriation, and we will certainly do that. And where can we build that additional dockyard now? Over here. Consider it done. As highest priority, even. Cool. So we'll get that underway. We have to be able to maintain these locations. These guys have dropped additional troops in Guadalcanal. But that's fine. For the moment. We'll just see about getting that underway. And we need to, like, Guadalcanal falling needs to be what we do here. Because an invasion from down here over this way crosses, like, 3 sea zones, which is complex for us to pull that off. So if Guadalcanal falls, then we can head out over this direction, hitting these guys, and then cross just these sea zones. This plane is working now. Okay. For a second there, it was doing nothing. It was just hovering, and I'm like, I'm fairly certain that's not how planes work. But, cool. I wish they hadn't brought these reinforcements in here. That's for sure. These US troops are not going to survive. They will eventually all die. They have no supply flow. However, our invasion is now prepared. I'm going to pull our navy out of these regions here. That's not how you do that. There you go. I'm going to pull our navy out of these regions, and they're going to come just up here. Beautiful. I want that naval invasion support up here eventually. How are we doing on our rationing and recycling? That's a number of days away still. Cool. Oh, wow. 4 units here? That's more than expected. Logistics company finished up, and we're definitely going to work on this. Oh, I just remembered. I intended to check how we Set the default garrison template. I guess I'll do that now. Default garrison template. I don't actually know how to set which one is the default. This is just people talking about what to put in the garrison template, and I will change that soon once we have our MPs. But how do I set which division template is the garrison? There we go. That's what we're looking for. Occupation tab next to subject tab. Okay, so in here, occupied territories. Ah, got it. So the armored division is our current garrison division. We're going to move that to this one, and we're going to change this. This will eventually get modified. Not this division. This division will eventually get modified, and that will be switched over to being like, according to this, cavalry. Something like 5 cavalry and an MP. Okay. So we can do that. Add in a little bit of cavalry over here. They're mobile. Mobile battalions. Cavalry. There we go. So we'll do something kind of like this. That is a combat width of 10. We'll save that, and we don't currently have access to MPs, but we'll add those in. What is the... No, I don't want to train that. What is the manpower usage of that? 5,000? Okay. Good to know. We have not enough manpower to fill our garrisons, obviously. We're lacking around... that's shuffling around right now as it changes out our garrisons. That's fine. Resistance target is 65. Okay. And insufficient garrison down here, yeah. So our garrison is going to be a problem for us for the moment. The US was knocked out of here. And our own invasion of this is going to be dangerous. We could try to invade up here. It's a possibility. We could also get ourselves some Marines, which wouldn't be a bad idea. So we could create an empty. And let's see, what would they be under? Do we not have Marines research? I bet we don't. Having Marines would be handy. So we'll come back to that. We'll get our MPs set up soon enough. 5 days on that. Beautiful. So for the moment, I'm not too concerned about doing this. I'm letting these guys replenish their fighting strength here. I'm guessing it's manpower that's their primary issue? Yes. Okay. So our manpower isn't a huge problem right now. I want to check... I want reinforcements to be our top priority. There we go. So there's our MPs, and we're going to definitely put MPs in here. There we go. That puts us up to 5,500. But cool. We'll call that good for right now. And we'll start working on... We could upgrade our MPs further. But I think for the moment... Oh, there's rationing and recycling done. That's a pretty big deal. I think for the moment, we want to grab Marines. So we're going to grab Marines 1. There we go. And finishing up rationing and recycling gets us a bunch of aluminum as well as a bunch of oil. Oil is a huge deal for us right now. And that aluminum also means that we are positive on our aluminum for the moment. Cool. We're a bit negative on our steel and our rubber, which I'm not that concerned about the rubber for the moment. But I think fight, work, or perish is the way to go here. Minus 5% additional consumer goods factories, plus 10% additional output. Beautiful. So we'll grab that, and that will be absolutely fine. We're at minus 1 rubber. I don't care too much about that, because we will be able to get additional rubber from this tree here. So that's okay. Cool. Okay. I don't suppose these guys are interested in joining us in this war at this point. No, they're not. That's fine. So we need to be thinking about Guadalcanal here. I do think that we should think about having some of our naval bombers over this way and have them... No, this is fine. Our main problem is that we can't strategic bomb without regular bombers. We only have naval bombers at this time. So we might want to think, well, for one thing, we've got 233 air experience. We can work on upgrading our naval bombers. Eventually, we're going to want to upgrade Bomber 3s as well. And split our bomber production a bit. But for right now, I think that we can upgrade our Firebrand. Let's see. Yeah, this is the only version of it. Yeah. So we can upgrade that a little bit. To, like, here. Done. And we'll get that producing. Beautiful. So we'll get those going. Now, the question is about Guadalcanal. How are we going to pull this off? Our manpower makes that complicated at this time. For sure. But at least we have oil now. That's a benefit. Another thing we can always do is try to do this instead. And then build our own naval base. It'll take a while. And we'll see if the AI gets around to kicking us out of there. If they do, it could be a big problem for us. But we'll see. We are going to have new recruitments finishing up soon enough. So that's great. In fact, there's an armored division right now. We'll pop that in actually over here. Cool. And eventually we'll replace these guys with Marines once we can do that. So that'll be fine. Having Marines would be a big boon. How many Special Forces can we have right now without grabbing the Special Forces upgrades? I don't actually know. And I think we'd want to go for high level rather than large amounts of Special Forces. I think we want to go with more elite Special Forces. So that should be okay. And we'll have this invasion done soon. Okay. So we have a good amount of this done. That's excellent to see. And of course these repairs are going to be finishing up eventually. Okay. So, I mean, if the Japanese have abandoned this at this point, which it kind of looks like they have, then that would be amazing. But we'll see. We do have this armored division, which I'm going to pop into here for the time being. And then that's all we've got there. We can recruit an operative. I'm not too concerned about that right now, honestly. Although, maybe getting a spy network in Japan is not the worst of ideas. Can we set all of these to building a spy network in Japan? Yes, we can. Beautiful. Okay. So these guys are going to launch right now. And as far as our construction here goes, this will be done on 10 August. Okay. But we need to take this right now. There we go. Okay. So with that being taken, right now we need to build a naval base right here. Only a level 1. That's all we need is a level 1 naval base here. That'll be done on 25 August. Now, I'm going to take half of this force and push them to here. That was not the half that I wanted. There we go. And now I'm going to take the other half of the force and push them to here. We don't want to push out too far, but I just want to buy some time. There's Marines 1 done. That is a big deal. And we are going to then grab Marines too. Cool. And eventually we're going to want a Marines division, which I don't know what the, like, ideal Marine division would be. This is what it gives us by default. Let's see. What do Marines have as good stats? Let's figure that out quick. We do want to get some Marines training here. And we only want, like, 6 or 8 of them overall. I think we'll go for 8. And we'll set that location, of course, being in New South Wales. So we'll get that going. But we need to edit this, and let's take a look at this. So they've got good defense. They've got very good soft attack. Okay. So an engineer company will boost their defense dramatically. It will also boost their breakthrough a little bit and their soft attack. I think an engineer company is good. Possibly a logistics company. Although that does drop. Yeah, that's actually fine. A logistics company is probably good because they're going to be in locations with low supply. So something like that. Their combat width is currently 8. We might want to think about bringing that up to a combat width of 10. Like so. A signal company would probably be pretty decent. It would reduce their organization a little bit, but it would increase their initiative. Which gets their planning done faster. And then we could use something like a cavalry recon detachment or a motorized recon company if we wanted to. That would boost the hard attack and the defense a decent amount, and the soft attack as well, and the breakthrough. I think we'll do a motorized recon company there, and then a field hospital to keep them alive a bit more. Something kind of like that. That's probably a terrible Marine company, but we'll let that go for the moment. And these guys are moving on out. We just need to last about 20 days here. Okay. Cool. Non-aggression pact from German Yugoslavia. We accept that. Absolutely. Only these tanks are going out over here. That's not what I wanted, but I guess it's okay. Cool. Now you can stay here. We're going to move these two over here. And we're going to add a front line right there. We're going to assign these 3 to that front line. Like so. Cool. So the main point of this is that we just want to not be attacked here while we build our supply line, which is currently about halfway done. Beautiful. And they're not currently making any moves to stop us. Now, our supplies here are going to be very, very grim for a little bit until we get that done. We do have this infantry division that we can move in over this way. Cool. But we did manage to land up here, and that is a pretty big deal. Now, I wouldn't mind grabbing these guys and having them offensive lining to here. And they can go ahead and get started on that. This puts them in the exact same position as this army, being 1 tile away from the enemy army. Cool. So our naval base is going to be done here very shortly. Now, how much supply flow will we actually have over here? And we see these guys are moving up. They're a little late. We now officially have supply flow here. Beautiful. If they actually move up and attack us here, these guys will wrap around and take Guadalcanal from them, and then they're kind of screwed. Okay, so our supplies are, I think, okay over here. Beautiful. No, they're not moving up for now. Okay. Fuel refining finishes up, and We wouldn't mind grabbing the last fuel refining, but we're actually okay on fuel for now. Let's go ahead and grab that, though, because we're currently trading for some fuel. And we can back off on our chromium order as well, which we will definitely do. We can potentially back off even further, but I want to back off on our oil by at least 1 unit. I think we can back off a little further. Can we back off all the way? No, we cannot. Okay, we need to be at least 16. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. So these guys at this point, I want them to set their offensive line to being like that. Not in that direction. Just set your offensive line to being that. There we go. These guys can at this point set their offensive line to being that. Cool. And we can get these jerks surrounded in Guadalcanal. Beautiful. And then from here, I'm going to set these guys to walking this direction. And these guys to walking here. I want to get these forces fully surrounded. Fight Work or Perish finishes, and that's great for us. We can now grab a research collaboration, but more importantly, we can do an industrial land appropriation, which we could have done anyway, but more importantly, right now, we can jump down to extensive conscription. That's a very big deal for us. So we're going to start mobilizing up there, and we can't do total mobilization right now or closed economy, but that's okay. Cool. So I want to delete this front line. This front line is not our front line here. Our front line is here. And these guys get assigned to that. There we go. I'm going to move these guys up here and then move them back. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to do that. Instead, we're going to launch an attack over here. These guys are going to offensive line, like so. And off they go. Now, I don't expect us to dislodge this. All we're trying to do is buy time for these guys to move in over here. Cool. That's fine. Okay. We can stop the attack now. Kind of. Yes. It should be okay. So we're going to select these guys, and they're going to offensive line up here as well. There we go. Cool. So we have these guys completely surrounded at this point, and that's fine. No problem there. We've got the rest of this under our control. We do have our naval base providing us some level of supplies, although our supplies down on this side are not necessarily the greatest. It should be okay. We should be damaging their naval base here. And the US has troops here now, too. That's excellent. The US is actually bringing in a lot of troops here. So we're okay with this. The US will take control of this attack primarily. I like it. That's fine. Completely and totally fine. So we're mobilizing up our manpower at this time. Elections will be held as usual. Beautiful. Our stability and our war support has dropped pretty dramatically. And that's because of our industrial land appropriation. So we need to do some improved worker conditions, I think, to boost up our stability. And unfortunately, we can't war propaganda. But we'll boost our stability. And we'll get these guys knocked out of here eventually. We're getting a lot of allied assistance over here, so I like it. That's absolutely great. Unfortunately, they're kind of overtaxing our supply restrictions here. That's for sure. So that's going to be interesting. we may need to upgrade this to a higher level naval base. Because we clearly need more supply flow up here, but getting it down away from this naval base is still going to be complicated. Regardless, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to see about taking back this area. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Ken2In, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Raw Potato, Elmichi Nazi, Justin Everett, Emiliano Cambron, Martin Lawrence, Jens Graham, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.